everyone, and good evening. Welcome to the Linglobe channel. This time, we'll be bringing you content about preserving the world's languages for the future. Please enjoy it to the end.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we have a really fascinating visual presentation in front of us, and our mission is to walk you through it, step by step.
Yeah, and we are going to break down this whole timeline using simple, everyday language. So if you are hearing about this for the very first time, you'll be able to follow right along.
Exactly. So just to start, I want you to imagine you are standing in the middle of the Kalahari Desert. Dry brush, endless sand, baking sun.
Right, a really harsh environment.
Most of us would look at that landscape and see an obstacle to survive. But what if you didn't see a boundary? What if you saw it as a home?
Like an ecological fortress?
Yes, an ecological fortress that completely shaped how you lived, spoke, and thrived for tens of thousands of years.
Well, looking at the first slide here, that is exactly what we see with the Sand People, historically known as Bushmen. Their timeline of resilience is just incredible. I mean, it stretches uninterrupted from the Stone Age right up to modern day.
Their primary footprint straddles Botswana and Namibia.
Yeah, exactly. And the presentation traces how they were gradually displaced. First by Bantu pastoralists, which were migrating cattle herders, and then later by European colonizers.
And they're actually still fighting for their land rights today.
They are. But despite all that pressure, their core hunter-gatherer ethos endured. For millennia, they lived in these small, fluid nomadic bands.
Mastering things like persistence hunting with bows.
Right, and developing this profound botanical knowledge. But the key takeaway from the next slide is that you cannot separate their daily survival from their faith.
It's a deeply animistic faith, isn't it?
Yes, they believe spiritual energy is in everything, the plants, the animals, the desert itself, and that belief really comes alive in the evenings during these communal gatherings.
Right, I was looking at that part. The gatherings escalate into these trance healing dances, right, to cure physical sickness.
Well, yes, physical sickness, but also social ailments.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the adults enter these deep trance states, and the shared emotional intensity acts as a pressure valve. It resolves interpersonal conflicts and keeps the band bonded together.
Okay, wait, I actually have to stop you there because that contradicts everything we usually hear about harsh environments.
How so?
Well, the sources describe them as a completely non-competitive, egalitarian society.
Right.
But usually a desert breeds fierce competition, hoarding water, fighting for the last scrap of food.
Right, right.
How does a group survive in a desert without strict hierarchies? Like, how does a system where no one is in charge not just immediately fall apart?
I mean, it sounds counterintuitive, but for the stand, competition is essentially a death sentence.
Wow, really?
Yeah. If one person tries to hoard resources or even power, the whole band risks starvation. So, cooperative learning and consensus building are actively prioritized over competition.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, older children teach the younger ones, mostly through collaborative play. Group cohesion is literally their primary survival mechanism.
Which is fascinating, because group survival in the dry Kalahari brush means perfectly synchronized hunting. And they couldn't exactly shout instructions at each other.
No, definitely not.
They needed a way to communicate silently. Which brings us to the next section, the evolutionary genius of their language.
Right. So genetic studies show they have some of the deepest DNA roots on Earth. And their language family, the Kex family, features these incredible click consonants.
Which wasn't just some random cultural quirk.
No, not at all. It was acoustic camouflage.
Literal stealth communication.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about the acoustic clarity of a click. It cuts through the brush, but it mimics natural environmental sound.
Exactly, like snapping twigs or rustling brush.
So you can coordinate a hunt without spooking the prey.
Yeah, and the presentation decodes 4 main clicks. There is the dental click, which is like a tsk against the teeth.
Okay.
Then the lateral click, which sounds a bit like urging a horse. The palatal click, a flat strike against the roof of the mouth. And the alveolar click, which is a deep, hollow pop.
And for tens of thousands of years, this was a purely oral tradition. But skipping ahead to the 1990 slide, linguists actually collaborated with them to formalize a written script.
Right. They combined standard Latin letters with unique click symbols. So, for example, the word for hello is written as an exclamation point followed by N-A-R-A.
Nora, that is so cool.
It is. But preserving this culture isn't just about printing modern dictionaries. They still pass the culture down through play, like tracking games.
Right, and the NAI ritual. which started as an ancient hunting game but adapted into this modern rhythmic exercise to maintain that social cohesion we talked about.
Exactly. When you look at the whole presentation, it synthesizes perfectly. Their language, their culture, their survival, they are completely indivisible. They are one unified tool.
Which means preserving the Sans click language isn't just about saving an endangered dictionary.
No, it is protecting humanity's oldest living memory of how to speak, survive, and thrive together.
It is incredible, and it leaves you with a really provocative final thought to ponder. If the Sans language evolved perfectly to mimic the natural acoustics of the Kalahari brush, how many ancient, forgotten environmental echoes might secretly be hiding in the languages you speak every day?
Thank you for watching until the end. We will continue to bring you many more languages from around the world. Please subscribe to our channel. See you next time on the Linglobe channel.